Well, I would start my video, but my videographer is totally distracted by a bee on a plant. Happens all the time. Hey guys, I'm Brigitte with San Diego Seed Company, and today we're going to talk about what to plant in July in zone 9 and 10. I'm going to give you a full breakdown of where we are in the season. I'll name some specific crops, but I also want to let you know that we have an exhaustive list on our urban farming zone 9 and 10 planting calendar. So if I didn't mention it here, there's a lot. This will give you every single thing that you can plant in zone 9 and 10 and other tasks that you should be doing in your July garden. I make these videos not to make money. I make them because I want you to be a really good gardener. And this calendar may or may not be in stock. You can always be waitlisted for next year's. But this is a passion project that I put together because I want you to be a good gardener, and I want you to know when to plant your crops and be as successful as possible in zone 9 and 10. So whether you're using our calendar or watching our videos, I'm here to help you plant the right crop at the right time, which will make you successful. Okay, so we're here in my July garden, and we're going to talk about what you need to be planting. Now, particularly if you're a transplant from another part of the United States, you can be very confused. Trust me, I was when I came here from the Midwest. We are in the thick of the growing season, which means almost anything is going to grow and be really happy, with one caveat. It's going to start to get very hot. If you don't already have shade cloth and you don't have it handy, get it handy. Because even though it's, mid 80s right now, it's going to get to top 80s, and depending on where you are in the county, in San Diego, it could be, well into high 90s. Crops don't really thrive in that. And I want to point that out because that should be a consideration of what you're planting. You can start more of your eggplants, your peppers, and your tomatoes. Absolutely, it's great temperature to do that right now. But think about how stressed they're going to be when you put them out into a hot, August garden. Because if you start them now, even if you're the best seed starter, 4 to 5 weeks, maybe say 6, you're really not getting them into the garden until, August, late August. In August, as a professional grower, we're already starting our cool season crops. So you'll see that I put this little caveat last. Now you have to make that decision depending on your garden, but I only want to point out that we are waning our timeline of when we can seed start some of the more intensive crops like eggplants, peppers, and tomatoes. What this season is really about, July is about succession planting. And why? I'll give you a good example. A lot of the crops we already planted are starting to putter out. So you can see here, I've got tons of squash. There's more on here. I mean, look at this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm really tired of eating zucchini. We planted this early spring and it's just been pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping. Depending on where you are, if you're in an area with a lot of disease pressure and there's a lot of powdery mildew on it, it might be time to pull these and start maybe a different variety because you're tired of eating these, and succession plant. That is what I mean by that. So you can easily succession plant your beans, your corn, your cucumbers, your melons, your squash, your pumpkins. You'll see that the beans in another part of our garden, they're totally done, but I can't tell you how many beans I've eaten, and I've already succession planted another round of beans that'll grow up, and I'll have more beans in a few weeks. So keep that in mind. Right now is about enjoying the garden in its full potential. I mean, look at this massive tomatoes I have here. Got so many tomatoes on a, little bit diseased looking plant. I get diseases too. We've had a hard year with powdery mildew, but I still have tons of tomatoes on there that I'm going to be enjoying. So get out, enjoy your garden, and think about what crops need to be replaced by succession planting, and mainly think about direct seeded crops that are easy to grow. Beans, corn, cucumber, squash, melons, pumpkins, all of those are very easy to replant. Now let's say you just got the gardening bug now. I'm going to give you a little bit of warning. Trying to start a garden in the hottest part of zone 9 and 10 during the year is very difficult. There's a lot of things you can be doing, and I don't necessarily recommend, if you're a brand new gardener, trying to start your crops from seed in the middle of the hottest part of the year. You can buy transplants, which are very easy, and you should also be spending a lot of the summertime prepping your garden for cool season. Adding compost, adding manure, making sure there's tons of mulch. You can see that we've actually already mulched in our garden, and we're going to be adding tons of more mulch throughout the summer. So there's a lot of things that you can be doing that can prep you for next season. So the other part of right now is thinking about flowers. So obviously the day length is getting long, it's great temperatures, and you can see there's so many butterflies and so many blooms in our garden. It really looks beautiful. I'm taking time to enjoy those blooms, but I'm also thinking about the flowers I want to continue to start to replace them when they're done. We've got a list here. I'm just going to name off some of the really easy ones. Amaranth is so easy to grow. Cosmos are so easy. I mean, a lot of these are, but some of my favorites. Zinnias, sunflowers, really easy crops to start from seed now, plop into the garden. You get tons of blooms now through the fall. And if you already started your garden, you can succession plant these. All right, quick recap of what to plant in July in Zone 9 and 10. For those who like bullet points, I'm just gonna boom, 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 point out some of the key things that you need to know. Number one, it's getting hot. Focus on direct seeding crops that are easy to sow, and those are large seeded crops like beans, corn, cucumber, melons, squash, and pumpkins. Make sure you have good hydrated soil. That's gonna make for easier direct sowing, and also make sure the crops that you are growing in the ground are getting enough water. It's getting hotter, it's getting drier. Also, if you are a first-time gardener and you just got the gardening bug, it is starting to become, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's starting to become the last part of the year that you can start eggplants, peppers, and tomatoes. You can argue with me about that in the comments and we can discuss in full, but I'm telling you, it's going to get hot, and it's hard to start these crops this late in the season. Also, be thinking about flowers. Not just what is blooming now, but what seeds you should start to have plants to replace the spent blooming flowers that are in your garden, and so you can have blooms all through the late summer and early fall. So remember, July is hot. It is dry. You want to up your irrigation. You want to make sure you have shade cloth on hand. You want to stay hydrated as well, not just the garden soil. And you want to enjoy the crops you have while also thinking about preparing to replace them via succession planting.